Yeah.
If you're using that, it sounds like you're telling a story and your child then insists that it's true. You just go, oh, that, look, that's nice. Or,
Yeah, because I'm looking at the age of your kids, and I would want to figure out, I would get curious, what about this story is really important to you? Just get really curious about it. Because it doesn't mean that your child has a moral foible, as we'll talk about in a minute.
It's not like lying, it's just sort of, I feel like my son, 6-year-old, confuses reality and imagination.
Yeah, and that's kind of the first part of this handout, is that kids do confuse their imaginations with reality. I mean, think about what it's like, even as an adult, when you have a nightmare. And you wake up and you're affected by this dream, and it takes you a little while to figure out what's real and what's not real. And imagine what it's like to be a kid. And they're always trying to decipher reality from, their imagination. And because kids are creative anyway. So I think maybe the important point here is not to judge our kids in terms of moral values, because that's certainly not what's going on. And to see that this is really a normal part of child development. Yeah. And it makes us much less reactive. Yes?
Every once in a while, my youngest grandson gets sort of stuck in his story. Like the last time he did this, he was a teacher. It was like he was a teacher all day, all night. Time to go to bed. No, he's the teacher.
Oh, he gets stuck in a fantasy of being a character. Any of you have kids who do that, or have a pretend friend that stays with them and you actually have to drop off at the bus stop and have a place setting for the pretend friend? That kind of thing can happen, especially with very imaginative kids. They just get into a character. I used to tell a story about going to the Gordon Head Rec Center, and Lexi was taking swimming lessons there. Well, both the kids were, and Lexi was the Lion King for a long, long time. She would wear her Lion King outfit at home. But anyway, Bruce had taken the kids to swimming lessons, and he said, oh, I remember, I haven't told this story for a long time. What had happened is he took the kids into the men's change room. Lexi's 4, so she's just at that age where she's very curious. And they're getting changed, and she said, "That's a penis," in a really loud voice, while this poor guy was getting changed, and Bruce didn't know what to do. He felt so embarrassed for this guy and embarrassed about Lexi, so he grabbed a towel, a wet towel, and threw it over her head and ran out of there with Jared trailing behind him. And it was just this horrible experience. And, that's all I heard about when I got home from work. And he said, "I'm not going through that again. You're going to have to come and get her." So that's what happened. So I come to the next swimming lesson, and I'm sitting watching her taking her lesson, and then she's finally done. And I said to Bruce, "Where are her clothes?" Because obviously they weren't in the women's change room. And he pointed to the corner, and then he looked back at Lexi taking her lesson. I said, "I don't see her clothes anywhere." He said, "Allie, it's this orange pile of fluff over there." I said, "That's her Lion King outfit. She wore it to the swimming lesson." He said, "She wore it all day. She wore it to Thrifty's. She wore it absolutely everywhere." But apparently what happened at Thrifty's is her tail got caught in one of the automatic doors, and it was kind of upsetting for her, because she was stuck. And anyway, so I get her Lion King outfit on, and she's still roaring and talking like a lion, and and we leave there. And as we're leaving, people were looking and go, "Oh, aren't you cute?" And she'd feel embarrassed. And so when she felt embarrassed, she'd whack me in the leg, And then the final straw was going to the bathroom, and the tail went down the toilet, and, And then finally she abandoned the Lion King. But that went on for a long, long time. And kids will do that. I'm sure many of you have stories about kids doing that. Yeah.